verdade não sou um problema pro Diego Lopes. Simplesmente ele vai tentar solucionar o insolucionável.
Wrong.
Com toda a certeza do mundo eles vão olhar pra mim, nocauteando o Diego Lopes hoje.
So that was a lie.
So UFC Noche just wrapped up. Honestly, a crazy main event. I'm sure a lot of people did not expect that to happen. Diego Lopes looked great in there. Silva definitely had his moments as well, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about my predictions. I went 7-6. So, not amazing, but I have heard that, other content creators did even worse. So, I'll take it. I'm not going to count that Dumas versus Zachary Reese fight either because that was a no contest. So, I'm not counting that in my predictions. But anyway, let's get into some of these fights. Starting with Dumas versus Zachary Reese. I'm only going to talk about this one just because this is kind of controversial what happened. Obviously, Zachary Reese bashed him in the where with a kick and he couldn't continue. I can't lie, that looks painful, bro. I feel bad for him. I swear, do they not wear steel cups or something like that? I thought they wear steel cups, but yeah, man, that's kind of an L. These guys are both kind of mid-level fighters, but I was interested to see who wins. Anyway, let's talk about a fight that actually did finish. On the main card, Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. Wow, man, listen, I can't lie, I think Alexander Hernandez was definitely losing this fight. He was just getting absolutely pressured by Ferreira, and in that second round, second round it was, he lands that on the inside he just lands that short little hook, and it drops him, and then I don't know who the hell the ref was. Don't ever employ him again within the UFC because this guy let it run for too long, bro. This might have been one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen in terms of it was too late, bro. After the first dropping shot and then the first ground and pound shot, I think it was done, bro. But he let him hit him 15 more times, bro. But anyway, after the fight, Alexander Hernandez did actually call out Michael Chandler. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, I do think Alexander Hernandez deserves a shot at the, rankings. He's on a 4 or 5 fight win streak, including wins over Chase Hooper and now Diego Ferreira, two very, decent level opponents. So why not? Next up, Dustin Stoltzfus versus Kelvin the Fridge Gastelm. Look, man, I can't even lie. Gastelm actually looked pretty good in this fight, but of course, that win is kind of tainted by that 4-pound weight miss. How can you be going up in division and missing weight by 4, or actually was it 6 pounds, or 191 pounds I think he was. I'm thinking about Brian Battle. Him and Brian Battle are in the same boat right now. People are saying that he should get cut. Maybe that's a bit harsh. He was saying, it was 4 weeks notice, bro. That is more than enough time. People make weight on flipping 1 week's notice, so I don't know what he's talking about. But yeah, man, I think you do actually lose some of your purse if you miss weight. So yeah, unfortunate. But it was a decent performance. Next up, Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. Bro, this third round TKO was crazy, bro. It was probably the most brutal on the card, to be honest. Rafa Garcia, in that third round, he knocks Jared Gordon down. Then he does some ground and pound. Jared Gordon already looks out of it. Then he tries to go for a submission. It was kind of a badly set up submission. I don't know why he tried to go for that. And then he escaped from the submission, and then he just kept on doing ground and pound until the referee stopped it. So yeah, man, crazy KO, probably the most brutal on the card. Great fight. Next up, the co-main event, Rob Font versus Martinez. Again, a lot of questionable refereeing here. People are saying that Font must have owed Mugliata some money or something. But yeah, man, the bell, it went off, and then the flipping fighters carried on fighting for another 5 or 10 seconds. So I don't know what that was about. But yeah, man, Martinez, in his second fight in the UFC, he's being a number 9 ranked fighter in Rob Font. On short notice as well, obviously the original fight was supposed to be Raul Rosas. I actually think Raul Rosas would probably lose to both of these guys. That's just my opinion. Anyway, this guy's looking promising, man. In the second fight, he's beating a very, very solid guy in Rob Font. Obviously, I thought Rob Font would win this, but he didn't. So, future's looking bright. Maybe there are a few things he can, touch up on, improve, but right now, I would say that's a really good performance. In terms of what's next for them, for Rob Font, obviously he was the number 9 ranked guy. Now he's just lost, so he has to fight down again. So I think maybe him versus Marcus McGee, or he's already fought Kyler Phillips, maybe Vinicius Oliveira. We'll see what happens. For David Martinez, he'll now be number 9 ranked. And, you know, I think he deserves a step up in competition. I do actually think Marlon Vera is booked right now, but if he isn't, then I think that will be a good fight. That would make sense. And now, finally, of course, the main event, Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva. A lot of people predicted Jean Silva to win, including myself, and obviously it did not happen. But I will say, now that all 4 fighting nerds have lost in 2025, I can say Jean Silva is definitely still a promising guy. You know, it's not like the Mauricio Rufy fight last week, where it's like he got completely dominated by Benoit Saint Denis. Instead, you know, he actually had some very promising, you know, moments within this fight, especially in that second round, pretty much right before he got knocked out. But obviously, there are some similarities, like, for example, that first round where they both got dominated in the grappling. Obviously, we saw in that first round, Silva, he overcommitted with a spinning back kick, I think it was. Obviously, Lopes, he took advantage of that, took him down, controlled him for the rest of that round, you know, opened up a nasty cut on his head as well. So that first round was definitely a Lopes round. And in the second round, you know, I can't lie, Silva was actually getting into it. He was actually hitting some really nice shots, but he gets too complacent. He's going too much for the kill, and then he gets spinning elbowed in the face. And that's all she wrote, man. That's how it goes, I guess. But what's next for them? Diego Lopes, it's tough, obviously, because he's just fought for the title and he lost pretty convincingly. Obviously, he did test Volkanovski, but Volkanovski won that pretty comfortably. So I do think he still requires one more fight. Maybe him versus Aljamain Sterling. Obviously, Aljamain Sterling literally fought like 1 or 2 weeks ago. So I think that'll be a suitable fight. Winner of that probably gets a title shot. And for Jean Silva, I don't know. I think he still deserves a ranked opponent. Obviously, he is number 10 ranked. So, you know, any one of those guys in that kind of ranking area within the featherweight division. Obviously, Arnold Allen hasn't fought in a long time, but maybe that's a bit of a step up. Maybe him versus Josh Emmett. I think that'll be a fair fight. Or Patricio Pitbull. Both of those fights, I think, would make sense for him. So that's about it for UFC Noche. Overall, I would say it was a pretty mid card. Even on paper, it wasn't amazing. And then the fights, most of them were kind of mid. Some of them were really good, like the main event, the Rafa Garcia fight, some of the others. But overall, this is probably one of the weakest Noche cards in modern UFC history, unfortunately. But that's how it goes, I guess. Some have to be the best, some have to be the worst. You guys let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this card. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on that post notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Safe.